Mauricio has joined the meeting.
Anyone there?
Joaquin has joined the meeting.
Hi, it's me. Who's here?
Who's there?
Before we get going, I want to make sure that everyone can see the slide.
Hey,
Can you see the slide?
I can see it. There is a little box on my screen that says I need a flash plug-in.
Oh, just download it quickly. Wait, are you on a Mac or a PC? Don't worry, you'll be able to keep up. Just the most important thing for the next meeting is that you...
Oh, is the meeting over? Is the next meeting? Oh, okay, great. Thanks, guys. This was great.
Hey, Christine, is that you? Hey, Christine, I need to talk to you about something, you know? It's very important to us to discuss this thing. Christine?
That was tragic. But I want you to think back to the last time you had a virtual meeting. I bet two things. I bet one of those things happened to you. And I also bet that it wasn't that long ago your last virtual meeting took place. Because according to an article in the New York Times, between 2005 and 2012, the prevalence of virtual meetings increased 79%. Why are people using virtual meetings so much more? That part's actually pretty simple. One, it's cheaper. Cisco, for instance, has 200 telepresence rooms, and it estimates that saves the company $100 million a year in travel costs. So that's pretty compelling. Second, it lets people who need to be there actually access the meeting. Instead of dealing with the fuss of traffic and snowstorms, which if you're like me from Chicago is a big deal, then you can just telecommute. And it also lets people who are juniors sit in on calls they might not otherwise get to be part of, something that I really appreciated when I was an analyst. Third, you guys like this. 70% of people would rather telecommute to a meeting than physically commute. So why is that? Well, Forbes asked that question. Why do people like virtual meetings so much? And this is where the dark side of virtual meetings comes out. Because 64% of respondents, that's 64% of you in this room, said you like virtual meetings because it lets you multitask. That means that you are admittedly checking email, surfing the web, and reading content that is completely unrelated to the meeting you're supposed to be in. Furthermore, Forbes said, well, take this list of key attributes that define business success and tell us what percent of you think virtual meetings are conducive to those. The results are pretty dismal. So here's your situation, right? Nobody likes meetings to begin with. Virtual meetings are becoming more prevalent, and virtual meetings are ineffective. So what do you do? What do you do? Well, I think you have two options. One, you can be part of that 64% that checks out. Or, like the good GSBers you are, you can see this as an opening. Are you going to be part of that group that sits back, or are you going to have influence? Are you going to clear your inbox, or are you going to get a promotion? If you're part of the first group, feel free to pull out your phone now. We'll see you later. I won't see your name on a building. But if you're part of the second group, listen up, because today we're going to tell you how to have success in a virtual meeting, how to be the virtual meeting hero through the proper preparation, execution, and handling of the aftermath that are specific to virtual meetings. So that while your peers are being dismissive and getting overlooked, you are getting noticed.
To be prepared is half the victory. So we want to share with you a strategy to be prepared. A-M-T. A-M-T. As AC/DC's song. So first, agenda. Define what success is, who is the team required to achieve this success, and invite them. Be very mindful compared to a regular meeting about time constraints, and please share the agenda in advance, okay? And with the rules of this meeting. Second, materials. we have a greater efficiency challenge here about time compared to regular meetings. So please, make the materials, assign roles, assign pre-works, and set them on advance. Also, choose a format. Telephone, video conference, and also try to set the login and password on time. Finally, technology. Assure that everybody shares the same platform. Don't be like me. Last week, I assumed I have a video conference in Skype, and in the last minute, I just realized that Google Hangouts existed, and we lost like 10 minutes because my fault of downloading the app. So be sure everybody shares the same format. Be sure that all tech works, and please, don't have a backup dog, Select a proper professional place and arrive at least 15 minutes earlier to have a great meeting. In this way, with this AMT strategy, you will be great prepared for this major meeting.
So as Stanford students, of course you're going to be leading these meetings. You're not going to be sitting back and just observing passively. So what do you do? What do you do as a leader of these meetings? Well, the first thing you can do is start on time. Just please start on time. See, virtual meetings make it so easy to come up with excuses for people to not start on time. And it's a problem in the workplace, in real meetings. It's even worse in virtual meetings. The second thing you can do is write down the names of participants. See, in virtual meetings, I can't see your faces. You won't be able to see mine. So how do you understand, how do you know who's in the room, who's not, who stepped out to go to the bathroom? How do you keep tabs on who's participating and who's not? Third tip I can give you is limit continuous talk time. Have you ever been in a meeting and you kind of raise your hand shyly or make some type of connection with the speaker to try and speak? And then he realizes and gives you the chance to speak? Well, newsflash, this does not work in virtual meetings. If you want to actually talk and you want to actually give people time to speak, you need to limit your talk time to give people a chance to participate. And finally, have roundtable checkpoints. See, some people thrive on structure, others people like the mess and the noise. It's really hard in virtual meetings when there's no structure and people are speaking to interrupt. So have those checkpoints. Give people a chance to speak. But what about that off chance when you're not the meeting leader? As Stanford alums, that might actually happen to you too. So the first thing to do is, for the love of God, do not multitask. See, multitasking disengages your mind from one task and re-engages in another. You're not really paying attention to two things at the same time. You're just switching back and forth, and that makes it really hard. The second thing you can do is lead with your name when you're going to speak. See, what if you've been preparing this huge speech, this huge thing you're going to say? It's going to get you your promotion, and then suddenly no one knows who said it. You say it, and then next meeting, someone takes credit for your work. So start with your name. Say, this is Joaquin, this is what I'm going to say. Third, interrupting is difficult. Sometimes you just need to write down what you're saying, what you're thinking, and go back to it later. So don't make the mistake of not writing down, because you will forget. You will forget after the meeting. And so write it down, have a chance to speak with the person, and take up those topics. And finally, paraphrase. Paraphrasing can help you get influence in the meeting, even if you're not the meeting leader. Why? Because you can cut through the noise. You can say, this is what I'm hearing, this is what's happening. And that immediately shines a spotlight on you.
So you've gone through all the items on your agenda. You've got a list of action items for the next meeting. Your virtual meeting is done, right? No, it is not. There's one more thing you have to do to make this virtual meeting a success. Formalize the water cooler conversation. What do I mean by that? Well, another key difference between a virtual meeting and an in-person meeting is the fact that after an in-person meeting concludes, people will typically leave the office where the meeting's being held, and they'll gather. They'll gather informally in different parts of the building. Sometimes it's the water cooler, the office kitchen. Now, anyone who's been in an office knows that this is where the real information is shared. It's not about the office memo, it's not about the email, it's not even about the formal meeting you just sat in for an hour. It's the chit-chat that happens in between. So you have to keep this element alive in your virtual meetings if you're going to maintain the integrity of your team. If the people in your project, if you're a leader and you're leading a group on a project, they all need to feel like they are part of that chit-chat. So you need to formalize the water cooler conversation to be a true virtual meeting hero. It's a lot easier than it sounds. You're just going to ask people at the end of the meeting, say, hey everyone, I'd really like to get your feedback about how this went. Specifically, I want to hear your concerns. I want to hear things that you disagreed with, and I want to know what we can do differently next time to make this an even better meeting. Give them the chance to say it there, right there in the space. You may not have any takers. That's not unusual. That's what happens in a real life meeting. But make sure that you follow up. As the team leader, it's your job to reach out to people who are joining you remotely, to follow up with them to make sure that they don't have any issues, that they weren't feeling left out. Because if they were, you got to fix it and do it right the next time. So we have given you guys a lot of information, and you have given us a lot of information. There's a lot of information here today being shared, and it's all great. We've taken the liberty, or rather we will be taking the liberty, of putting together a tip sheet. The tip sheet's already put together. The liberty is uploading it to Canvas so that you can have these tips at your fingertips in advance of your next virtual meeting. Because, as we mentioned earlier, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And we would urge you to take action, be the hero of your virtual meeting.